I'm Micah,
I'm Diana, and this is Maggie.
and we have a few things to discuss.
Yes, we do. We've got some exciting things to talk about today.
We do. There's been some advancement in your life.
Yes. Recently, I completed something that I have been working towards for the past year and a half, and it's kind of really brought a whole new level to everything that we're doing within Hitch Fit, within Soul Fit, within our world of transformation. And I graduated from Freedom Academy, and I am now officially a biblical trauma-informed coach.
You are officially a one of one in the world.
I was waiting for like applause or something.
Well, I just gave you a statement that is a one of one in
the
world. Celebration is something that I love doing for you on a regular basis. I'm obviously proud and whatnot, but you are literally a one of one with all the education and certifications that you have now, and a 2-time world champion, all the transformations that you've been able to do, the amount of women over 40 that are struggling with the menopause, the trauma, the weight issues, and then being able to, and then the faith side of things, the foundational faith side of things, being able to infuse all of those to help people get to freedom. Like, I cannot wait to see the people, the ladies that God brings into your life to go through healing.
Yeah, thank you. And you are extremely supportive. I don't want
Do I need to do more?
Anything other than that. And it was really a big growth year. 2025 was a big growth year for me. And not just the biblical trauma-informed coaching. That was the latest one. And I also, in 2025, became a trauma and resilience life coach. And I also went through and got a menopause coaching certification, a whole process that I went through for that. So last year was really a huge year for me, as far as I just wanted to be able to lean in and understand things so much more. And I just had this feeling, this sense that like there was going to be a lot revealed. And when I graduated from Freedom Academy and then I got home, it was like all of this stuff started downloading of like the missing gaps that there are in our world of transformation and in our world of being able to help people. And I kind of knew it like back when I got my trauma and resilience life coaching, that was around your birthday in 2025, in March of 2025, that I graduated from that program that I'd gone through for like, I think it was like a 6 to 8 month process that I was with them. I saw it then, and then once I was through Freedom Academy, which was intense, it was 4 levels of 3 days of work that I had to go in and actually do the work on myself. And as a coach, we both know this, we say this a lot, I can only take other people as far as I'm willing to go myself. And Freedom Academy made me go further than I had ever gone and dig deeper than I had ever dug into my own story and my own stuff, and all of this stuff that I had no idea was there, that was holding me back from really walking in like this level of peace and freedom that I'd never experienced before. I was like, this is actually wild. I didn't know that this level existed, but it was because I went in and did the work and then went through that whole certification process.
I always tell people that, you know, it's almost like learning a brand new language.
Yes.
But this particular language, very few percentage of human beings actually understand and know. And so when we're like teaching this, and when we have the opportunity to sit down and work with someone, or we're just listening and holding space for them, it's just amazing now how our minds are connected to what is really going on and the deeper rooted things. We may hear things like, I'm struggling with addictions and I'm doing in this, and why can't I lose the weight and whatnot? And we're looking so much deeper into where the root of that actually comes from. And now understanding this language, being able to teach some of that to the people that we get the opportunity to work with. It's amazing. And I got to go back a step because this is just funny. And I was kind of laughing when you were talking about that. But 2025, your word was take back territory. And I'll tell you what, like you took back territory this year. 2024 was my year where I went through a lot of healing and a lot of freedom came in that year for me. In 2025, you stepped into a lot of your own journey. And we went to this Freedom Academy level 1 together. So I did level 1 and
you made
then
it through level 1.
Yeah. I made it through level 1. And I remember, the president, CEO, Carrie came up and she's like, Micah, I had already gone through 6 or 7 years of like deep healing. So I'd gone a long way, but their program is amazing. And she's like, you've just done such an amazing job. And I was like, well, thanks. And then she looks at Diana. And she goes, you got work to do. And I was like, oh! And it was really amazing. And when Diana, you were able to really put that on the table in that community. Every level that you came back, there was more language that you learned. There was deeper rooted stuff that you started working on. And it's been amazing to see how much territory you've actually taken back.
Yeah, it was really the take back territory year for me. And it's funny because when Carrie said that, some people might take offense at that and be like, whatever, she doesn't know me. But I was like, oh my goodness, I think she sees something that I'm not seeing. And I I love learning and I love growing. And we both did like our strength finders, and I found like these tests that you can take to figure out like what your core strengths are. I'd never done mine before, and I did them as part of Freedom Academy, and one of my top strengths is learner. And so it's like you crave learning. And so now I'm like, oh, that's why it makes sense to me. I was like, when she said that to me, I wanted to figure out what that was that she was seeing in me that I couldn't see myself. She saw something deeper, and she was right. I mean, level 4, when we graduated and I had I like went up and she was praying over people, and I went up and I was just like, I didn't see it. I didn't even know my own story. I had created a story in my mind of like what my life was and what my childhood was that was a protective story. And I didn't even realize it until I went through Freedom Academy, and I was like, wow, how crazy are our brains that it literally had created this story that I have said and repeated over and over and over in podcasts, on shows, like that I have said, this is my story. And that wasn't even the truth of my story. And so going through that entire process, it was hard. There were just a lot of very tough moments because I had to sit in things. I had to grieve things that had never been grieved. I realized how much of my story I was minimizing. I was a big minimizer of like, this stuff happened, I'm fine, moving on. This happened, I'm fine, moving on. And that served me very well because it also built a lot of self-reliance in me. It's why I became an entrepreneur. It's a big part of the success that I had in fitness was, I'm fine, that stuff's there, I'm going to shove it, I'm going to lock it away, I'm not going to look at it, and moving forward. Served me very well in a lot of ways, but it wasn't serving me well in a lot of other areas too, in the depth of relationship, in the depth of my relationship with you, in the depth of my relationship with Jesus, in my ability to actually have peace and joy in the midst of storms, which I feel now, and I'm not saying like there's more. And going through this process actually has made me, I've dug up so much stuff I didn't know was there. And I know there's more. There's going to be more our entire lives, I believe, that God's going to keep revealing and keep working on us. But it really is a level of like, wow, I wake up in the mornings and I'm like, there's things that used to be ungrieved and unhealed in my story that have had some tending now. And it's like that wound is healed. So if you touch it, it doesn't hurt anymore. If that makes sense.
It does. And so fast forward all the way till now. So this year has been an amazing year of growth and healing in your life. And now you're taking that pain and you've converted it over to a massive purpose in something called S5. And what is this S5, and how can it help other people?
Well, I was really praying about this because when I got back from Freedom Academy, I was like, this is different in the world of fitness and transformation. We've always, even at Hitch Fit, had this motto of believe, transform, inspire. And so there's kind of levels to fitness, health, wellness coaching. There's some coaches that may just give you, here's your workouts, here's your nutrition, follow it. And then there's some coaches that understand that there's a mental aspect and a mindset aspect to that. And so they'll be like, well, it's your thoughts and you got to just change the thoughts. When you have a bad thought, you got to just say, go away thought, and put another thought in there. And that's good. Like I actually believe, yes, we should, when we notice negative thoughts, we should work towards changing those thoughts and those thought patterns and doing the rewiring of our brains. But going through all of this made me realize there are so many missing pieces, because it's not as easy as just change your thoughts. For many people, when they have underlying wounds and when they have hurts and they have harms and they have points in their stories that have not been tended and that have not been healed. So to say to someone, just change your thoughts, the only way we can really actually change a thought is if the part of our brain that is in charge of being able to think through and say, oh, yes, I think I'm going to change that thought, is actually activated, is our frontal lobe, our thinking brain, where we can be creative and have ideas and have focus. That part of our brain, if that part of our brain is online, we can make intentional choices, we can make goal-seeking choices, we can make things that are going to move us forward. But if your amygdala part of your brain, which is your fight or flight, which is the emergency responder, if that part of your brain is in charge and in control, to just say to somebody, just change your thoughts, when it's emergency, there's a fire, run, we got to all get out of the building, when that's what's happening inside, it's not a place where mentally they're going to be able to be sitting peacefully and be like, yeah, I'm going to change this thought right now. It's when that part of the brain is in charge, they're going to run out of the building. And that might mean going to food. That might mean anger. That might mean addiction. That might mean alcohol. That might mean drugs. That might mean pornography. That might mean many things that that's how they run out the door and they get away from the fire. This is kind of my little story that I'm just painting a picture for you. So before anybody can change their thoughts and change their minds, they're going to have to actually be in a regulated state of mind. So that's where the trauma-informed and the self-regulation and understanding how the brain is working comes into play here. So if you're going to tell someone change their thoughts, you're assuming that they're a well-regulated person. If they are not a well-regulated person and they're not in their thinking brain, they're not going to be able to change their thoughts. So when you say it to them and then they're like, I don't know what's wrong with me because I can't do this, they're not understanding that it's because they've been triggered by stuff. Things are happening where the part of their brain that is in charge is not the part of their brain that's going to let them think through and make intentional goal-seeking choices. So that's one element of it. So we can learn self-regulation, we can learn breathing techniques, we can learn grounding techniques. And those are great because they can calm our nervous system, they can get our thinking brain back online. So in the moment, instead of running to the refrigerator and devouring everything because you're looking for a quick fix and your body's like, there's something happening, I need to calm this, and you go for the food, at the end of the day when you're all dysregulated, you can learn how to calm your system so in that moment, you can move through and make an intentional choice. That's great. That's another level. And then there's another level. And that is understanding that there is a story that has been untended, and the trigger response that you're experiencing is because of that untended story, that potential pain, harm, thing that was developed in you by things that happened to you. And it typically always is rooted back in childhood. So if the self-regulation, great, but being able to actually get down to the roots and take a look at the story. And a lot of people run from the story, engage the story. Maybe you need to grieve the story. You may need to name what it is. But until we go and do that work on what the story is and actually start working on the rewiring there, the triggering's not going to stop. And then all of these other things aren't going to flow. So we're not getting deep enough. Our field of transformation has not gotten deep enough. And that's where the S5 comes in that you were talking about. That's what the Lord kind of showed me is there's it's 5 points. It's the science, which is the hormones, which is gut health, which is understanding the importance of nutrition and supplementation, all of the science stuff. Yes, great. Strength, understanding the importance of strength in our bodies, understanding the importance of muscle, how much we need protein, not just strength in the physical body, how that translates into the mind and the spirit as well. Number 3 is the story. It is understanding that there's something else going on in your brain if you're struggling with just, hey, change your thoughts, change your mindset, change your mindset. We hear it all the time. Just change your thoughts, change your thoughts. And then you're like, what's wrong with me? And there's all this huge shame heaping on if you can't. It's understanding there's something deeper, that your body's being triggered. It is signaling you. We have to learn self-regulation, but then we actually have to go deeper and look at the root of the story. Number 4 is scripture, because we can't truly do transformation without the word of God, without a relationship with the Lord, because he's the one that can come in and tend and heal those deep wounds. He's the one that true transformation happens from. And the scripture and the word of God is where we get the information for wise living. And what does wise living and wisdom in living actually look like that leads us to health and wellness and long life and strong bones? It's literally in the book of Proverbs, all of that. And then number 5 is sisterhood. And I say sisterhood because it's for the community of women that I'm building in Soul Strong, and the importance of community and how we're not supposed to have to do this stuff alone. And so community and not thinking you're in isolation are huge. So I call it S5. It's part of Soul Strong, which is my community for women that I've built.
I've been in this industry a really long time, and I'm not just saying this because I love you and you're my wife and whatnot. What you're building with Soul Strong, specifically for women over 40 that are going through the struggles that they're going through and really have, all they know is, well, when I get to a certain age, life just goes downhill. Mm-hmm. I got to deal with all this hormonal stuff. I'm going to be dealing with all of this. I have no idea how to deal with this trauma work. Maybe I've gone to a counselor or whatnot, but I'm still in the same place that I'm in. It really is revolutionary when it comes to the fact I've never seen all of this together with an actual path to healing.
Yeah, I've never seen it. I can't find it. I've asked Grok. I've asked Chat. I've done Google searches. I'm like, can you find anything? And it'll search and search. I'm like, well, search here. Do deeper search. You can't find anything. Now, there's people that tie together faith and fitness. All of these are good things, but they're missing something. So there's people that are working with trauma and with mindset, but they're not working with the physical elements of health, and they're not going deeper into actually where's the roots of this coming from. So I see it as just, I call it Soul Strong, and the word that it kind of goes in alignment with Soul Fit, our retreats business, but I was like, the word soul, when you look it up in the Old Testament, in the Hebrew, it's, I'm probably going to say it wrong because I'm not a Hebrew speaker, but it's nefesh is the word that's used. That may not be how you pronounce it. It may be. But what it means is the soul is actually encompasses the whole person when it's that usage of the word. It's like, it means like you are a soul and you have a body, mind, and spirit. And that's what I love about Soul Fit. And it's what I love about Soul Strong is, so even though it's using the word soul, I'm not just talking about your spirit. It's the meaning that comes from the Hebrew word for soul, nefesh, which means the whole person, the body, mind, and the spirit, and building strength in all of those things by not stopping at the surface and actually starting to go a little bit deeper so that we can actually get to the roots that might get a little messy down there, but we got to dig that stuff up because that's going to translate into the highest level of strength, of freedom, joy, peace, health that you can have in your life.
On top of all of that, there's going to be a community. And, we understand that a lot of healing, a lot of pain and hurt comes in community, but healing also comes in community. And this Soul Strong community with these women specifically, very, being able to lift one another up and go through this process almost as a family and a group, I think is also just imperative for success.
Yeah, the
Because
community.
so many times we feel alone.
Yeah.
Like we're alone in this. How am I going to do this? And when you know you have a couple friends over here that are having to make the same choices that you're making, you're like, you know what? I'm going to show up for her today. I'm going to show up for her today. And I'm going to show up most importantly for me today.
Yeah.
And that's I think what really brings that all together.
Yeah, the community is incredible because it really is a space where I want spaces where women can show up and feel like they can be themselves without having to put a mask on, without having to hide that there's tough stuff that they're dealing with. They don't have to act like they've got it all together. I want them to feel seen, I want them to feel heard, and I want them to feel supported. And that is what is been built in Soul Strong.
Well, that's amazing. I'm so proud of how far you've come, and I can't. You mentioned earlier that it's helped the relationship. It's helped. We had an amazing marriage, but I'll tell you, it's made the marriage even more amazing. Me going through the healing that I did, and then being everything that I could be for you, I could only go so far. I was still holding on to something that was still broken inside of me. I was still protecting a 5-year-old little boy. And I wasn't able to, even though I wanted it, I didn't even know how to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And then with your situation, have you navigated this? I've seen it from a husband standpoint of seeing his wife get through a level of healing that has allowed her to even be more within the marriage as well. It's been beautiful to be a part of.
Thank you. I think it's given us a different lens for people to I know because things that you and I would see in other people or in interactions that before we might have gotten defensive or like whatever, like who do they think they are? I see stuff now and I'm like, oh, they have a really untended part of their story. And I feel that, and it's just such a different way of being able to see people and see that there's hurts and that there's pains, and to see behaviors and reactions and responses to things that oh man, there is a deep root there that they don't think anybody can see, but it is blaringly obvious that there's a wound that needs healing. Because it's like whenever you go near that person, it's like I think of it as like a dog. Like Maggie. She's sleeping. And if a dog has an open wound and you try to touch that wound, and the dog is going to snap and try to bite you, right? So that's what I think of it as, is like people, they don't even know that wound is there. But if you say something or do something that just touches on it a little bit, they're going to snap at you and they're going to try to bite you. But when that wound is healed, and when it's maybe there's still a scar there, but it's healed, so that even if it gets touched, it doesn't cause that same response reaction. They might be like, don't touch that, but they're not going to bite your head off. And that's one of the best way when I think through what does it actually mean to have a wound from your past healed and tended. And that's one of the best ways I can explain it, is like, it may still be there, but if someone touches it, you don't have that massive response anymore. It may irritate you, but it's going to be a different response because you've had healing around it.
I think the awareness too of when you do get triggered, because we're still humans, and at times irritable situations or a situation that really triggers you, you understand the tools and the language and the skills to get back to a regulated place at a pretty quick amount of time.
Yes.
Where it's not keeping you in that state for 2 or 3 days.
Right.
Where, like, the viewers that are watching, think about you being in a triggered state and you get into an argument with someone and you're still carrying that. Your body gets hot and you're angry and your stomach is feeling weird and your just blood pressure feels higher and whatnot, and you're like, you can't sleep. And then it goes over into 2 or 3 days and you're like, what in the world? Why is this still holding on to me?
Yeah.
And again, that usually is a deeper rooted issue that we need to get through some healing in that, so that when you do get triggered again, because you will, we're
Of
human again,
course, yes.
we can come back down, we can pause, we have the tools to get to where we need to be, and sometimes understand, just go, okay, I need to take a couple big breaths here, I need just a little bit of space, I'm going to come back and then tend to this and have a conversation that's going to be a little bit more rational.
Yeah, and what you're talking about is called a window of tolerance. So it's like we want to expand that window of tolerance, and also, and so that means the space where you're like peaceful and feeling good. And so some people's window of tolerance may be here, so they're popping out of it like all the time. So you want to have some expansion there, but also you want to be able to have the tools so when you do go out, you're going to be able to get back in. We want to have these hormones going through our bodies. We want to have stress because it can be a good thing. Like when you're at a Chiefs game and something big happens, you want that rush of adrenaline. It also makes our lives exciting. It's not that it's a bad thing. And it's also is a warning signal for us. Like it's your body warning you, hey, something might be off here. It's really just the ability to understand more quickly, was that a real fire or was that just a little bit of smoke? And what are my tools to get me back to safety and feeling well? Or you may hyporegulate, which is like there's hyper and hypo. You may go down and do a total shutdown. Some people, that's what they'll do. Instead of getting up here and angry, it's a total shutdown. Can't talk, like I'm in a freeze mode. So exactly what you said. It's just expanding that window of tolerance so you don't pop out of it as quickly. And if you do, you know you can get back into it quickly. And that's where all of those tools for self-regulation come in. And then that gives you the space to be able to say, okay, now I can go down and also do some of this deeper healing work too.
Oh. Understanding this language, having it now, has really helped almost every facet of our lives. Mm-hmm. Not only our own relationship, but the relationship with our friends, being able to educate our friends and family on what is going on in their own body has been transformational, what we've witnessed so far. And then with complete strangers, like a client day one, and you're sitting there and you're holding their story as they open up, if they do open up a little bit, and just understanding the process and helping them get to where it is that they need to be, because right now we're focused on the food, or we're focused on the weight, or we're focused on the workout not being there or whatnot, when we really know it's always typically deeper.
Yeah, and the shame spiral that it's putting people in when they actually want to be healthy. And that's one thing that, again, it's just, I realized that I don't want to say wrong, because the Lord has been gracious and we have helped thousands of people with the information that we had throughout the past 16 plus years of Hitch Fit. And it's like we kind of had to build that foundation so strong, I think, to be able to understand this stuff. So even though sometimes I'll say, I wish I knew this stuff 15 years ago, I feel like we had to really build that foundation of knowledge and information about transformation so solid to be able to add these next level layers onto it. And just to understand that when people are in that loop, when they're in those loops, they're stuck. When so many people are stuck, you can't sit there and be like, just do the workout, just eat this way, just change your thoughts. It's not helping. Yeah. It's not helping a lot of people. It's helping some people, but there's a lot of people that are stuck that are going to need something deeper. And that's what I'm so excited about, is it's being able to help people that are stuck get unstuck.
The yo-yo. How many people out there have just gone through the ups and downs of the weight loss, and they lost the weight and they're like, oh, I feel so good. I feel so amazing. Why didn't I do this sooner? And then 6 months later, they're back to close to where they were when they started.
Yeah.
And, and these are the people that we're really talking to, because that is the base that typically needs to get curious about what is deeper and what is really going on.
Yeah. Really great conversation. I'm super excited about S5, super excited about Soul Strong, super excited about Soul Fit, super excited about all the things. We'll wrap this up today, but really this is a launching pad to be able to just dive in and share even more with people of how to get unstuck, how to really and truly transform in your body, your mind, and your spirit. So I'm super excited.
You have a takeaway? This has been an
Oh my
amazing
goodness, so
episode.
many takeaways. My number one takeaway is just I want you guys to know that there is something deeper. There is something more. If you have been stuck in a loop, maybe for years, maybe for months, maybe for decades, where you are like, I want to be a healthy person. I can't figure out why I keep going in these loops. I know I can help you and I can tell you why. And so I just want you to know that there's something deeper, and it's just the willingness to go in and take a look, heal things that need to be tended, tend things that need to be tended, and that's your key to moving forward.
My big takeaway is yeah, just, it can be difficult, it can be scary. I just encourage you to get just an ounce of courage, enough courage to take that step forward, to get curious about it. Find somebody in your life. Maybe it's with Soul Strong, maybe it's somewhere else, but someone that you trust, someone that you care about, someone that really can hold a story with you and be able to open up. And that really is the first step to really getting curious about what's going on deeper.
It's great. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to today's episode. Make sure you hit subscribe, share this with a friend who needs to hear about it. Check out my Soul Strong community for women over 40. Check out Hitch Fit. Just be a part of our community, be a part of our world. And we will see you again on the next episode of A Few Things.